Good morning everyone, we are Group 8 and I'm Kier Deribas, and these are the two parties in this case. 1. Antonio M. Serrano, the petitioner, and Gallant Maritime Services Incorporation and Marlow Navigation Company Incorporation, the respondents. And these are the historical contexts in this case. This case cannot only reflects the ongoing struggle for the rights of the OFWs, but also highlights the evolution of labor laws in the Philippines, showcasing the judiciary's role in interpreting the enforcing these laws to protect vulnerable workers in the context of globalization and economic migration. This case revolves around the ongoing struggle for the rights of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs and the development of labor laws in the Philippines. For decades, OFWs have played a significant role in the country's economy, contributing billions in remittance. However, they also face numerous challenges including labor exploitation, contract violation, and lack of legal protection in foreign countries. Over time, the Philippine government has enacted labor policies to safeguard OFWs' rights, ensuring fair treatment, proper wages, and protection from abusive employees. This advancement reflects the country's commitment to upholding workers' rights amid the complexities of overseas employment. Additionally, the judiciary has played a crucial role in interpreting and enforcing these labor laws to protect vulnerable workers. As globalization and economic migration continue to reshape labor markets, courts have been instrumental in addressing labor disputes, ensuring legal accountability and strengthening policies that safeguard OFWs. The evolution of labor laws in the Philippines highlights the nation's efforts to balance economic benefits with the needs to protect its migrant workforce. This legal framework not only upholds justice for OFWs but also underscores the importance of adapting labor policies to the ever-changing landscape for international employment.
So now let us proceed to the relevant articles and civil codes. So for the first one is the Article 1159. This this article is really relevant in the case as it emphasizes the binding nature of the employment contract between the seafarer and the employer. Second is the Article 1305. This principle is relevant in the case as it emphasizes the validity of the employment contract even if it was not authorized. The last article is the Article 1315. This article is relevant because the case as it to the case because it emphasizes the need of good faith in interpreting and enforcing the contract. So let us move on to the key points or the summary of the issue. This case was raised fundamental questions regarding the equal protection of and due process rights of OFW under the Philippine Constitution. The petitioner, Antonio Serrano, argued that the limitation in Section 10 was discriminatory and violated the principle of equal protection by creating an unequal treatment between OFWs and local workers in similar circumstances. He contended that the limitation unfairly reduced his compensation for being illegally dismissed. The case's significance lies in its in its examination of the constitutionality of the law that directly impacted the economic security and welfare of a vulnerable segment of the workforce, namely OFWs. The Supreme Court's decision in this case had far-reaching implications for the interpretation of the labor laws and the protection of workers' rights in global contexts.
Hi everyone, my name is Axel Gabriel Araqueño. Let's proceed the facts and issues. And contract details: Serrano entered into a 12-month contract as chief officer with a monthly salary of $1,400. Downgrade is upon arrival on March 19, 1998. He was compelled to accept a lower position as second officer with a reduced salary of $1,000. With a promise of promotion back to chief officer by the end of April 1998. The promise was not honored, leading Serrano to refuse to continue in the downgraded position. He was repatriated to Philippines on May 26, 1998. After serving only 2 months and 7 days, the legal proceeding, constructive dismissal complaint. Serrano filed a complaint for constructive dismissal with the labor arbiter or LA, claiming breach of contract and seeking compensation for the remaining 9 months and 23 days of his contract. And the decision is the LA ruled in favor of Serrano, declaring his dismissal illegal and awarding him 3 months salary based on Section 10 of RA 8042. LNRC decision, the National Labor Relations Commission modified the LA ruling by reducing the applicable salary rate but upheld the 3-month compensation cap. In Court of Appeal decision, the CA affirmed the NLRC decision, maintaining the 3 months cap and sidestepping the constitutional issues raised by Serrano. And the case of Serrano v. Gallant Maritime Services Incorporated is pivotal in reinforcing the right of overseas Filipino workers, ensuring they have access to fair compensation in cases of illegal dismissal and challenging laws that limit their right compared to other workers. Next, about these issues, the case of Serrano v. Gallant Maritime Services Incorporated centered on the constitutionality of a clause in Section 10 of Republic Act No. 8042, which capped monetary award for illegally dismissed overseas Filipino workers or OFWs at 3 months salary. The petitioner, Serrano, argued this cap violated his constitutional right to equal protection. The cap discriminated against OFW by treating them differently from local workers facing similar situation. Due process, the cap denied him a fair hearing and just compensation for his illegal dismissal. Non-impairment of contract, the cap interpreted with the terms of his employment contract, and the Supreme Court agreed, declaring the 3 months of cap unconstitutional because it violated the equal protection and due process clauses of the Philippine Constitution. This ruling significantly strengthened the right of OFW in cases of illegal dismissal. And yun lang po. Next reporter.
So now let us proceed to the court's decision. First court's decision is that the Supreme Court of the Philippines ruled in favor of Antonio Serrano, declaring the clause of Section 10 of RA 8042 unconstitutional. This means that the 3-month cap on monetary claims for illegally dismissed OFW was deemed invalid. Second is the court emphasized that the Equal Protection Clause of the Philippine Constitution requires that all workers, regardless of their employment status or location, should be treated equally. The court also found The 3-month cap violated the due process clause by depriving OFWs of a fair opportunity to receive just compensation for their illegal dismissal. So the last one is this landmark decision significantly impacted the legal landscape of the OFW rights in the Philippines. It established the OFWs are entitled to the same protection and benefits as local workers, and that their rights should not be limited discriminatory provisions in the law.
The case Serrano versus Gallant Maritime Services is important because it protects the rights of overseas Filipino workers, or the OFWs, when they are illegally dismissed. The Supreme Court ruled that the 3-month limit on the compensation for OFWs was unfair and unconstitutional. The court said this rule violated equal protection because local workers get full compensation for the unexpired part of their contract, while OFWs were unfairly limited. Since OFWs was often faced tough conditions abroad, they should not be treated differently. The court also ruled that the due process of OFWs was violated because the 3-month cap denied them fair compensation. A just ruling should consider the full damages they suffered, including lost income. This decision helps align Philippine labor laws with international standards and strengthens the protection of migrant workers' rights.